basically you pay them $20 a year and you can release as many songs as you want to.
What?
Okay. This is episode 69 of the Arts Academy podcast with Victor Varnado and Roxxy Haze. How to publish music. This week is special because we're actually delving into something that I wouldn't say that I'm an authority on, but I do know some stuff about, and that is music distribution, and making music. The reason that this is a big music week is because we're doing the Instant Album Project, which you can find out information about at instantalbumproject.com, which is a song making competition where the winners split their part in $1,000, and also there'll be free phones. It's just crazy. Money, watches, and phones, everybody. Money, watches, and phones. What?
Hey.
Money, watches, and phones. Yeah. I have to make the announcement video for the theme. I bet I'm going to be yelling money, watches, and phones in the announcement video.
You have to now.
Yes, that's got to happen. Money, watches, and phones. We talked a little bit in the previous episode about how to make music, and especially from my point of view as a person who doesn't do a lot of music, how I make music. But now we're going to talk about music distribution. Putting music out there and interesting things you can do with songs that you make. For instance, you actually had an EP. You want to talk about the EP? Maybe plug it a little bit?
Yeah. So I wrote an EP called Roxxy. Is it Roxxy Haze versus? Why don't I know? Roxxy versus a Roxxy Haze mixtape. That's what it's called. It's
Roxxy
5
Haze
songs.
Mixtape.
I like put my name multiple times so y'all can't pretend like you don't know who it is. And all the songs are based on like nerd themes. So like there's one about Nintendo, there's one about Black Dynamite, there's one about Adventure Time. And I went to the studio, I recorded the songs, and then I just put them on SoundCloud because SoundCloud is free. I'm making music videos for each song. So I already made the first one. I'm gonna work on making the other ones just so that they can, promote the mixtape more. And it's on YouTube. I'm trying to find other places to put it, but I'm not exactly sure because I wasn't sure I even wanted to have it out at first. So that's why it was just only on SoundCloud. But now I'm making the music videos and stuff for it. So,
oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, if you make music videos, here's a couple of things that I looked into because I'm a big as far as entertainment goes. I'm a big person who's like, let's use all the buffalo. Okay. So like when I'm doing something, for instance, like this podcast, which is a free podcast where we teach people how to do things, but it is dovetailing into the Instant Album Project, of course, because that's something else I'm doing on the side. So this week's episodes are about things that help you enter this contest and also teach you about the arts. And so like, I'm always like, how can things work? And so here, what's the most efficient way? How can I optimize? That's what I'm always about. Most efficient. How can I optimize? How can I use everything? So since some of the projects that I make have music as one of the offshoots, I really wanted to delve into a lot of what can be done with music online. So here's some interesting things that I don't think everybody knows about, but people should think about it. One, you can get your own Vivo page. Did you know that? On YouTube. So you can get your own Vivo channel on YouTube. You need to search for this, but basically, if you search for how to get a Vivo channel, there are different. There's Vivo, which I think you can get a subscription to them, and then they will set you up with the Vivo channel, which means that they will always funnel you traffic. Of course, they get a cut of it, but you're also put in this group where if your videos take off, then they really get pushed really hard on the viral market. So that's why a lot of people who have Vivo channels, who even are no-name people, still have hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of views on their Vivo videos. Because if you can make a channel and Vivo accepts you, and then you're willing to just either pay a subscription or do whatever it is, the split that they have, then you can just have a Vivo channel. There's actually no barrier except for your talent to getting in the door there, that you can just submit. Anybody can submit, and I don't think a lot of people know that who are artists.
Oh yeah, I did not know that. So it's free to sign up, and then if they choose your channel, then you pay, or they just take a cut? That's what you're saying?
I don't know exactly what it is anymore. I mean, but I would just it when I was trying to figure out like different things that could be done with music, I just really Googled how do I get a Vevo YouTube channel, and there's so many ways to do that.
Gotcha.
There's straight through Vevo. There's also services which help you get your Vevo channel as well. So there's just a bunch of ways to do it. But I just think that I feel like a lot of people didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't. So
Yeah, and it's definitely
That's
worth
cool.
looking into. So that would be one thing. Another thing that I would suggest for distribution is a distribution aggregator. I went through a distribution aggregator when I was releasing because basically what I did was I wanted to make a comedy EP, stand-up comedy EP, and I wanted to do it for no money because I figured like it's not my latest jokes. I just had a really good recording of me doing an old set with some older jokes that I wanted to get out there, but I didn't want to go through having to set up an album through some sort of distributor like a record company or whatever. I just wanted to get it out there to people as a pay what you want album. And so I researched on how to release an album, and I found quite a few things. And one of the main things is there are distribution aggregators. There's a company called DistroKid, for instance. Have we talked about DistroKid before?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if you go to the DistroKid website, basically you pay them $20 a year and you can release as many songs as you want to.
What?
Okay? And they appear in Amazon Music, they appear in Spotify, they appear in Apple Music, they appear on everywhere, on like as many platforms as you can think of. You can pay extra so that they do copyright checks for you on YouTube, like if you want to, but it depends. Like if you've got music and $20 per year, then you can put that music out there, and then they also I think help you collect on sales. So like through there, you collect on sales through DistroKid as well. So like if somebody buys my thing on Amazon or iTunes or whatever, all the money comes through. It's basically just like having a Patreon, but for very specifically for music, and it doesn't look like a Patreon is what I'm saying.
Gotcha, that's cool.
They distribute music everywhere, collect the money for you, and give it to you.
This is way
so
less
basically, just by following the instructions on their website, you can just release songs. Like I could release a song every day if I felt like it. I mean, if I could play music and sing.
And then it automatically gets uploaded, all that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, DistroKid, and there's a lot of aggregators like that. If you want to search for music aggregators, I think it's just called a music distribution aggregator is what you'd be searching for. That's what they're called. DistroKid is one of them, but there are a lot of, I think there's at least 5 or 6 like that are top brand companies that do things like that, and all of them have their little tweaks. One of them, their tweak is awesome, which is and I forget exactly what they're called. I'll have to look back at one of my text messages to see what it's called. But one of them has a special feature where they handle all of the licensing and paperwork for you if you want to release covers of songs. So you can release covers of any song, and they handle all of that. I mean, of course, like if you release covers, like 70% of the money goes to the person who wrote the song, but you still get paid for your cover. And so you could release, like you right now, you could pay the fee, the yearly fee, and you could release a song of an album full of covers if you wanted to.
And that's cool because I was thinking about doing an album of theme song covers. So I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah, they handle all of that stuff. Let me look really quick and see where the name of that company is, because I asked one of my friends about it recently because he released a cover. He released a cover of Rapper's Delight through this service.
And I always wondered how that worked with covers. So that's how it works. Like you can do the cover, but you just have to give them most of the money. Yeah,
it used to work. Oh my gosh, it's like really cheap. So it used to work where, in order to do covers, your record company or your agent or your lawyers would have to deal with all of that for you. But now it's all just done electronically. Anyway, so this company is called Landr, Landr. Okay, for $10 a year, you can do free cover songs.
Oh, I'm making 80 songs.
And because the thing is, yeah, and you can put out a bunch of songs and just start making money. Like,
That's
and the
crazy.
thing about it is, it's good for them because they get their cut. It's good for you because you get your cut, and it's good for the people who've put all their songs, people who wrote the songs, because they get their lion's share of it as well. It's like everybody makes money, which
That's a
is
lot.
great. Exactly.
Yep.
And so you could do covers, and your covers could be on Spotify. And
What? I'm doing that
exactly.
today.
yeah, you should totally do that. I want to do some covers too. I'll do a cover of all the my favorite video game song is Still Alive.
Which game is that?
That is from Portal, the video game Portal. You never heard the Still Alive song?
No.
What, you're calling me a nerd?
Let me see.
You?
I was just about to say my favorite was Simple and Clean from Kingdom Hearts, so I can't talk. Still Alive from Portal. Let me see.
Yeah, Still Alive from Portal. It's a great song. You'll really like it.
I bet
I
I've
think.
heard it. I'll
And
check
if you
it out.
play the game and you hear it, that's when you like it the most. I'm getting texts from one of my guys who works with me, and I will. I have to tell him to just wait a few minutes until I'm off the air. All right, because he's blowing up. Like when people send more than one text right after another, I'm like, okay, they might whatever they're doing might be
Something's going
urgent.
on.
So
Yeah,
I need to like at least give them a little bit of attention and say hey or whatever. You know?
I heard this song before.
Oh, you heard it? Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Anyway, so DistroKid is DistroKid or any music distribution aggregator. They can really help you like putting your songs out there. And you know what? I am surprised that a lot of people do not know about these two things. Like that you can have your own Vivo page and distro and music aggregators, but it's definitely something that everyone should know about because I mean, it's an incredible resource, especially if you're somebody who when I was very first starting out, and now I'm still aware of these things, but when I was very first starting out, I was always looking for ways that like, how can I get the most for my money, and how can I, as an entertainer, make money? How can I make money without having to invest a lot of money? And so, like, your talent is worth something, and if you but you have to find out how can you monetize it. And for instance, if you're a great musician right now, you can put out songs and then they can take care of all the stuff that's hard to do, like figuring out how to get it on Spotify and Amazon and Apple Music. Like that's the hard part. But once you have that avenue open to you, then you can concentrate on just making good stuff, and you can concentrate on just letting people know who you are. Another interesting thing that people can do, and here's something that this is more aimed at people who are musicians, but another thing that you can do is you can be part of a music distribution site. Basically, I would think the site is called, what's the site called? Like where you can pay one fee for it and you can then use all their music in your videos. What are those sites called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, like Artlist.io is one of them. And there are many sites where, say, if you are a YouTube person and you want music for your videos, you can pay one fee and then you can get music for your videos for, the term of your subscription. So all year, if you pay for a year, you can get music for a year for all of your videos, and then they cover all the licensing and everything. So those songs.
Doesn't Incompetech do that too? Or are you talking about?
Yeah, this is different from Incompetech, because Incompetech is free. Like, except for Incompetech is a guy, his name is Kevin McLeod, I think, and his stuff is actually free, except for when you want to use it in a commercial project. It's $35 a song, which is really cheap. But I'm talking about the other side. So if you're a musician, there's websites like Artlist.io, which is like a music library. So if you put your music in a music library, then every time that somebody uses that music, you get paid.
Thing.
And then there's people, and a lot of these music libraries are actually short on a lot of music right now. So, for instance, there's a guy, even recently, I think I watched a video that he made about 3-4 months ago. And what he did was he started putting music in the music library, and he was very surprised to find out that just by uploading some songs, he started to make like $3,000 a month. Okay, just like money from those songs that he made and that people were just using in their videos, because he just used like tracks that he had like not used for other things or stuff that he had laying around, and he put it all together in the correct way, and then that started getting him paid. And so then he's like, oh my gosh, he didn't realize that he was going to get so much money. So he started putting more songs on it too, because there is just almost an endless need for new songs on those sites. And so that's yet another way that you can monetize music.
I've never heard of that either. That's cool though. Music licensing platform.
A music licensing platform. Yeah. I called the music. I settled on music library, but I guess it's a music licensing library, maybe something like that. Anyway, but yeah, that's where you can put your music and also start making money. And here's the best part. If you're a musician, this is the best part. I don't know really what I'm talking about. So I'm only scratching the surface of what's out there, I'm sure. But if you're thinking of an avenue where like, how can I make a lot of money with my music? In fact, I know there are agencies which help place music in commercials and things like that, commercials and on TV. And so, but that's worth checking out. I don't know what the names of those agencies are or how you go about that exactly. But because it's how you think, like how you think about stuff like that. And as soon as you start looking for those things, remember they're out there and there's a way to find them and there's people already talking about it. It's just, I think that a lot of these things, people just kind of see them and they consider them out of reach for themselves, and they don't think, oh, how do people do that? How does it happen? And understand that there's that a lot of people have asked that question, and so there are systems set up to make those things happen. It's just like the Vivo thing when I was talking about like how to get your own Vivo channel. Most people will look at a Vivo channel and be like, oh, they have a lot of views, wish that was me, but don't even think about, how do you get a Vivo channel? Do you have to do something special? Answer, no. You just have to make music and then you can get a Vivo channel. So by applying through this process. And so it doesn't really take much other than just thinking of, how can I do that? And then you could probably find the answer online, because that's the best thing about the internet, is that everyone who has had the same thought as you is also on the internet, and lots of times they're talking about that thing that you have questions about. That's what I would say is the best thing about the internet. What would you say, Roxy?
I almost said something gross. I had to remember which podcast we were on. I will agree with that, Victor, is that the answers are always there on the internet. Yeah, like you can always find what you're looking for on here, and just ways to make money. Do
you have a music goal? Is that part of your goals? Is it just like a side thing?
Yeah, it's just something because I thought it was fun to do. I do want to come up with like a couple more mixtapes and make an album. Actually, I'm lying. I would like to like do a musical, like my own musical, or be in a musical. So
you'd like to do your own musical or just be in a musical? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool.
I'm writing some stuff, but I don't compose music, so I'll have to.
Do you do musical theater?
I used to. I was that kid.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. We are getting to the end of this episode. But if you have a question right now, you can ask your question if you're listening to this live, just by putting whatever you want in the comments. And then, it looks like we have a little bit of action in the comments over there. Let's see what's happening.
Queasy said, yo, what up, Queen?
Yo. All right, great. That was a good time. All right, so But if you have comments right now, you can ask your questions while I am wrapping up. Let me just wrap this up. It's the Arts Academy podcast. You know that part. I'm Dean Victor Varnado. This is Deputy Headmistress Roxxy Haze. Say what's up, Roxxy Haze.
Oh, yeah, keep just waving and not talking. Hey.
Yeah, don't forget. It's podcast time. All right. And remember, you can find us at Alt Arts Academy on all social media and artsacademypodcast.com for good times with us.
You can find us at artsacademypodcast.com.